Welcome people, we end up back at again with another video. In today's video, I will be giving a very happy review of Chelsea's 4-1 win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I didn't expect that. Nobody expected that. I would bet good money that nobody expected that at all. 4-1. 4-1. That's crazy. Now, did we commit a North London robbery, or did we fully deserve to win 4-1? There's a little bit of both. There's a little bit of both. In one part, we did commit a North London robbery. On the other hand, Tottenham shot themselves in the foot and they basically gave us a golden opportunity to win the game. So that's on them. But I'll let you, as the viewer, decide as I decode this game and break down what happened step by step. Now, way too much happened in this game for me to be able to remember everything from the top of my head. So I'm going to refer to my notebook, look at a few key points, and then from there I will basically expand on that key point and speak about the relevance of that key event within the game. So without further ado, let's get started. Mauricio Pochettino went with a lineup that I wouldn't have gone with. He went Sanchez at goal, which is what I would have done. Reece James at right back rather than Malo Gusto, which is not what I would have done. Centre back pairing of Axel Disasi at right centre back, left centre back was Thiago Silva, and left back was Levi Colwill. That for me it made me upset because of the fact that Cucurella has been good for us. So why is he being dropped and Colwill is being played at left back? It didn't make sense. And with the start that we had, I was blaming Poch because I was thinking, you chose to go with Colwill at left back as opposed to him at left centre back and Cucurella at left back. But anyway, we'll get into what happened and why I was blaming him. The double pivot, it consisted of Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. The number 10 was Conor Gallagher. On the right wing, we had Cole Palmer. On the left wing, we had Raheem Sterling. And up top, we had Nicholas Jackson. Cool. I would have also started Mudryk for me. And then I would have gone Sterling up top and Nicholas Jackson to start from the bench. That's personally what I would have done, but Poch decided to go with something different. Now, with Mudryk not starting, I understood it to some degree because he's just coming back from a minor muscular injury, so maybe he wasn't quite ready to start. That's perfectly fine, but Cucurella being dropped from the starting lineup did not make any sense to me, and it really infuriated me. Now, in this game, we got off to a terrible start, an absolutely terrible start, because 5 minutes in, we had conceded, right? Now, we know that Chelsea are a team that don't score many goals, so for us to have conceded 5 minutes in was infuriating, absolutely infuriating. Because when you look at it as a supporter, you're thinking, okay, I know my team doesn't score a lot of goals. So what do we need to do against Tottenham to get any sort of results, whether a draw or win? First of all, be defensively solid. Don't allow them to score. If we don't concede, we can't lose the game. Then at the very least, we can get a draw. Great stuff. Then from there, whenever we have opportunities, we need to take them. All right, cool. We have the plan. The lads throughout the first part of the plan the lads threw out the first part of the plan within the first 5 minutes because they conceded a stupid goal, in my opinion. And the reason I say it's a stupid goal is because, from what I remember, this is a raw reaction. I haven't seen the highlights yet. I'm just going off of the events that happened and what I remember. There's a Tottenham player on their left-hand side who gets the ball. So our right-hand side, their left-hand side. And he plays a diagonal pass, right, across the face of midfield, right? And Kulusevski picks it up. It was Pape Matar who played the ball, I believe, right? Kulusevski picks the ball up, right? And he's running at Levi Colwill. And Kulusevski decides to take a shot. It is deflected off of Colwill and into the back of Robert Sanchez's net. Now, for that particular goal, you can't blame Sanchez. You can't say anything about it. It's not his fault. It takes a wicked deflection and it deceives him. There's nothing he can do about that. The people who I'm looking at for the goal, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm placing judgment, right, and blame on the wrong people because I haven't seen it back yet. But initially, my initial reaction to it is Conor Gallagher, Actually, no, Connor is exempt from this. He was playing higher up. It's fine. Moises Caicedo in the double pivot, Enzo Fernandez in the double pivot, and Disasi and Silva. I'm looking at those guys and Colwell as well. With the players in the double pivot, Caicedo and Fernandez, I'm thinking that they should be the ones who should intercept that ball in midfield and prevent it from getting to Kulusevski, right? Because as players in that double pivot, yes, they must link the defense and the attack, but more importantly, they need to protect the defense. And I don't think they did a very good job of protecting the defense in that particular situation, right? So that's them dealt with. Then the centre backs, Disasi and Silva. If the double pivot players don't do their job, I'm thinking one of the centre backs must take responsibility for stepping up and dealing with that ball. And then we're potentially on a counter attack now. It's not a problem anymore. That's what I'm thinking as well. Then with Levi Colwell, he's not closing down Kulusevski quick enough. And I think if he closes Kulusevski down quicker, then what happens is he gets closer to him, obviously, right? And the block that he makes doesn't divert the ball into the back of the net like it did. If it was closer, I think his block diverts the ball away from the goal rather than into it. But anyway, it was what it was. Okay, cool. We play on. Within the first 20 minutes, I was so unhappy. I was so incredibly unhappy with how we were playing because what I could see from Tottenham is that they're playing with chemistry, they're flowing, right? They are a team that are gelling together very well. We were not gelling at all. There was no fluidity really in our attack, in my opinion. It was looking very disjointed and it looked like it was unorganized and it just lacked complete structure. Now, Raheem Sterling gets the ball, right, on the left hand side of the pitch in the 22nd minute or so, and he runs at the Spurs defense. Now, Raheem Sterling's good work gets him into the Spurs penalty box and he takes a shot. The shot is blocked by the defender and it comes back onto his arm. After that, he shoots again and the ball back ends up in the back of the net. But VAR obviously ruled out the goal due to the fact that it hit Sterling on the arm. And I feel like that is fair because as much as Sterling was very, very close to the defender and he couldn't have moved his arm out of the way, it still did hit his arm. So it would be incredibly unfair for us to be given the goal. I understand that. Cool. From that point onwards until the next big event, again, I was not impressed with how we were playing. I was so unimpressed with how we were playing in the first 20 minutes that when Sterling scored that goal that was disallowed, I initially didn't celebrate that much. I was frozen for a little bit because it's like we were playing so badly and I was so frustrated and so disappointed. And all of a sudden, it's a goal. Now it's a very quick change of emotions. It was very, very weird. So between the 22nd minute and the 33rd minute, I would say we played in a similar fashion, to be honest. But in the 33rd minute, Enzo Fernandez gets the ball, right, in the Spurs penalty box, and Christian Romero charges at him, right? And he has a high foot, right? In this particular instance, he's challenging Enzo with a high foot. He initially gets the ball, but his follow through means that he essentially he steps on Enzo's ankle, I think it was, with his studs like this. And as such, we are awarded a penalty, right? And he is sent off as well. Now, some people may say, oh, it was unfair. He got the ball first and whatnot. See, the problem with that is a similar thing happened with Malo Gusto against Aston Villa. He got the ball first, but his follow through was studs up. And that is a sending off. So Tottenham really need to just take that L and they need to hold it because that's how I saw a rule being applied to Chelsea. So I think it's completely fair that that rule is applied in the same way to Tottenham. That's all I'm saying. In terms of people who are going to say you can't have double jeopardy where a player has given away a penalty and they're being sent off as well. If I remember correctly, I think it was a 2021 season or it was the 21-22 season, one of the two. Anthony Taylor was refereeing a game. It was Chelsea versus Liverpool away at Anfield. And Reece James handled the ball, right, with his arm, right? And for that, Liverpool were given a penalty and he was sent off. So, in the same instance, right, I'm seeing how a rule was applied before to a player and how it's being applied now. So, I don't think that Tottenham can really complain about the officiating. Obviously, after that foul, what had happened is Caicedo had gotten the ball. He had produced a magnificent shot, ended up into the back of the net, but Jackson was offside, so that was ruled out. But then they went back to the initial incident of the foul on Fernandez, which led to Chelsea getting the penalty. Now we get the penalty. It's the 35th minute. Cole Palmer puts it into the goalkeeper's. It was his bottom left corner. It initially hits the post and then goes in, but it doesn't matter. The fact is, we scored, and I was very, very happy. I was very, very happy. Now I was thinking, okay, we could potentially do something. Now, before I speak about what happened after halftime, I need to go back to an incident that happened earlier on in the half that I forgot to mention. In the 18th minute, right, this young man who plays for Tottenham named Destiny Udoji, right, he he challenged Sterling for the ball, right, and he got some of the ball. But the problem with his challenge was that it was rather high and was studs up like that onto Sterling's shin. Now, he didn't make too much contact with Sterling, but he was booked nonetheless due to the fact that that was dangerous play. And I think if you watch that, studs up like that in the modern game, you are going to get booked, my brother. Don't try it. Do not try it. Unless you're going to win the ball and not touch the opponent, my brother, do not try a tackle like that with studs like that onto an opponent. Ever, 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 ever. Okay, cool. So we go into halftime, right? Tottenham are a man down. We're thinking Chelsea have to win this because this is a golden opportunity. We're playing away from home, right? We're up against it initially going into the game. We concede early, cool. Then we're given a penalty. We convert the penalty, and one of the opponents is sent off. It's 10 versus 11. We can do this. We can go on and win this. This is a golden opportunity to get 3 points, move ourselves into the top of the table. Cool. So we go into the second half, right? And Mark Cucurella is put on in place of Levi Colwell. And I was very happy about this because Levi Colwell got sent off. And now when I think about what happens on Cucurella is brought on and Colwell is taken off, right? When I think about it, that was very smart because it prevented Colwell from getting sent off. Now, when I think of a Tottenham sending off, which happens later on in the game, this was very, very smart from Mauricio Pochettino, and it was probably what we needed offensively because Colwell wasn't really offering anything on that left-hand side in terms of support to Sterling, and Cucurella did a lot more of that. Now, in the 55th minute of the game, right, Udoji, who had been booked, makes a stupid tackle on Sterling. Sterling is not even running directly towards the Tottenham goal. He's kind of going towards the wing, right? So he's not directly going to goal. And Udoji decides to foul him, right? And he gets none of the ball and all of the man, right? And this results in him getting a second yellow card and being sent off. At this point, it's 11 against 9. As a Chelsea fan, you're nervous watching this because now it's a thing of we have to win. It's embarrassing for us if we do not win this from this position where we have 11 men and they only have 9 because at that point, the game is stretched. When it's 11 versus 10, the 10 can double up their efforts. They can cover the space somehow, some way. They can find it within themselves. When it's 11 against 9, at that point, you can stretch the game and you need to be able to find the space in behind and create some chances and score. Cool. So now Udoji is sent off. Mudryk comes on, right? He came on in place of Fernandez, who didn't have a great game today, right? And now from the 55th minute onwards, Chelsea have this advantage, but we really made hard work of capitalizing on this advantage. The reason I say that is because we made something more difficult than it had to be. We were not connecting our passes the way we should have been. Players are running offside unnecessarily, right? They're committing stupid fouls for no reason. giving Tottenham chances to breathe, right, and just take a break from us putting them under pressure. And I was just thinking, we're not that good, right? Let me not say that. Let me rather say we're not good enough yet. This young team needs a lot of work because a team like Man City would have put Tottenham to the sword more easily than we did. A team like Liverpool would have put Tottenham to the sword more easily than we did. A team like Arsenal would have put Tottenham to the sword more easily than we did. Now, I'm not saying this to disparage my team. That's not what I'm trying to do. But what I'm trying to say is that we need improvement, right? We're not where we need to be, and Mauricio Pochettino will have to work very, very hard to get this team to the level at that it needs to be at. Cool. But anyways, we make hard work of something that should have been much easier than it was. But luckily, in the 75th minute, what do we get? A Nicholas Jackson goal. And who assists him? Raheem Sterling. Now, I believe it was Cole Palmer who plays the ball in behind for Sterling. Sterling runs onto it, right? And he was onside when the ball is played, right? But Jackson was offside. Cool. Anyways, Sterling runs with the ball, right? And Jackson is keeping pace with him, right? He's keeping in line with him. He's making sure not to go ahead of him. And then when the pass is played, then he's offside, right? He's keeping in line with him very, very well. They get into the box, a ball across from Sterling to Jackson, and Jackson converts it. It's 2-1. At that point, you're thinking, breathe, breathe. Things are looking better. Chelsea are going to win this. Everything's going to be fine. Following that, we gave Tottenham a free kick, right? Near our goal, in fact. And this free kick is played in. Eric Dyer gets on the end of it and he scores. At this point, I was so angry because now it would have been 2-2. It would have been 2-2, and you could say Chelsea are throwing away a golden opportunity for 3 points to move themselves out of the bottom half. Luckily for us, Dyer was offside. That was a huge sigh of relief, and we really, really needed that. After that point in the game, we had somewhat control of the game, but you could see that Spurs had not given up. They were still doing their utmost to win the ball off us and have that high turnover up the pitch, which would lead to a goal scoring chance. You could see that they had not given up yet. In the in added time, right, the fourth minute of added time, Jackson gets the ball from Mr. Conor Gallagher, right, and he puts it away into the back of the net, right? And at this point, it's 3-1. The result is safe. It's looking good. We're feeling happy, right? All those good things. It didn't end there. Jackson said, you know what? No, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Let me cook some more. Let me cook some more before this game ends. Following that, 3 minutes later, just about 3 minutes later, he gets the ball from Cole Palmer, converts it once more. And at that point, Nicholas Jackson has his first hat-trick for Chelsea. Away at Tottenham Hotspur. That's crazy. Now, was he amazing today? Outside of the goals, no, he wasn't amazing. I think some parts of his play were quite poor and other parts were decent. But with Jackson, what I see is a striker who needs work. But I'm happy that he got his hat-trick today. He needs to build confidence from this and he needs to kick on and start performing better, right? But even with that said, he needs work and it's going to take time and we need to be patient with him. At halftime, I was watching a live stream of the game, right? And what I could see in the comments is a lot of slander for Nicholas Jackson. And this is something I don't like about the Chelsea fan base. Initially, when a player comes in, they are loved and they're shown support and all of this stuff, and you're called the next Drogba. Next thing, you're struggling and you're the bad guy, you're the villain, people are hating on you, you should get out of their football club. It's crazy. I'm sure those people didn't expect that at all for him to score a second half hat trick. And I didn't as well. So yeah, shout out to Nicholas Jackson, right? People will say those were tap-ins, whatever. Do I care? Does it look like I care? Me, I don't care. So yeah, we move on shamelessly. Now, Tottenham, like I said, they shot themselves in the foot by getting those red cards, right? Because 11 against 9, it's never gonna work, bruv. It's never gonna work because the space is always gonna open up. But they did get a little bit unlucky in the first half with injuries to two of their key players, Mickey van der Ven, right, who pulled his hamstring, right? whilst defending against Jackson, interestingly enough. And then also James Madison. I don't know what Madison's problem was, but he had some sort of problem. It seems like he overstretched or he hyperextended something. I don't know, but it didn't look so great. So from that part of things, they got unlucky, but they shouldn't be having two sending offs at home. That's their own fault. And for me, I just take that and I say the universe blessed Chelsea this evening, and I couldn't be happy with that. And I think I'm gonna leave this review here, people. Right? I need to go do some work, and I feel like I've covered everything I need to cover. The last thing that I'll say though is we need to play better. We must play better if we're gonna win the Carabao Cup and if we're gonna finish in a decent position in this league. And on top of that, in the short term, right? Very, very short term, we're facing City on Saturday. No, is it Saturday? No, it's on Sunday. We're facing City this Sunday. If we play against them how we played against Spurs, we could get turned over 4-0, 5-0 at home. We can't play like how we played. We must play much, much better. We need to bring a similar level to Arsenal, to the Arsenal game, to the Liverpool game as well at the beginning of the season. If we bring those kind of levels, we could be okay. We could nick a draw. We could nick a win. I don't know. But if we play how we played, if we play against City, how we played against Tottenham tonight, it's looking like a long day at the office. But I'll leave it here, people. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.